Hey, what's up everyone? Reed here with PTPGun, and today we're going to be talking about the CAT Tourniquet, which is the Combat Application Tourniquet. Now there's a reason I went with this tourniquet amongst any other tourniquets out there, like the Israeli band, the pressure wrap. This is the lifesaver. I bought this from Northern American Rescue, and I wouldn't recommend any other tourniquet other than this one. But you got to be careful. There's a lot of fake or aftermarket tourniquets that look like the CAT tourniquet but are not. And I'll tell you right now, there's a bunch of ways to tell that it's not a true CAT tourniquet. So some things that you can see is this rigid part of the stick, the twist handle. You have these rigid raised grooves at the end of the handle, as well as the CAT logo is also raised. If it's not raised and if it's a smooth bar, use that for training or just throw it away. So whenever I get a CAT tourniquet, the first thing I do is take it apart, right? I want to make sure that there's no defects in this. I haven't found any that's going to come in or that I've received yet, but I want to verify that everything's working the way it's going to if I were to need it, right? So I'm looking at all the Velcro, making sure there's no loose ends, there's no tears or anything. The plastic's intact, it's not, damaged in any part, it wasn't damaged in shipping or stuff like that. Once I have it all taken apart, this is where I'm going to Velcro it the way that I like it. So from here, I do about 8 inches on the red tab through the buckle, and then all I'm going to do is Velcro this back to itself so it's flush. Once I have that, I'll hold the tourniquet up and then I have the tourniquet held up, but on the back side, I'm going to go down about 6 inches and fold up. Now once I have it folded up, you can see it's pretty flush until the top, and all I'm going to do is wrap that top all the way over, and then that's my preload. I did a little bit too much. Usually I have that red tab and the end of this even, so I'll readjust that. But if you have it like this and you're cool with that, all you can do is Velcro over, and then it's ready to go. If I were to use this, all I have to do is pull that, same thing as before, rip this apart, and then put it on. Cause damage, it's not to be used in training to cinch all the way down and get that real life situation or scenario out of it. Cinch down once or twice and get the practice out of it. You can cause damage using this if it's not meant to stop the bleed. If you're using it for training, you need to be very careful not to cinch this down all the way. You can cause damage, you can cause nerve damage. It's not something you really want to use for training all the way. You want to just get the hang of it, the repetitions in, and so forth. But if you're using this in a real life scenario, just know that nothing about this is going to be comfortable. Nothing about this is going to be pain-free. So if you have to use this on yourself, just know that it's going to hurt like hell, right? So if you have someone else that can apply this to you, obviously you want to do it in a timely manner and be very fast with this, but get them to apply and then crank down until the bleeding stops. And if you have the guts to do it yourself and you don't have someone else and you don't have the time, then you need to bite the bullet or bite your shirt and cinch this down as fast as you can, lock it in, and then strap over. The biggest thing with this is it's not made for comfort. It's made to get a job done that you have seconds to do before you go unconscious. I watched a video the other day, and it was these two gentlemen. It wasn't in a country. I don't believe it was in the United States. It was in another country. They were in a street, and there was a verbal argument that started to get domestic, and push came to shove to where one of the gentlemen grabbed a knife and actually hit him in his carotid artery. Now, a tourniquet's not going to do anything for your carotid artery, but the point of this is to tell you that this guy went from being punctured in his carotid artery with a knife to 10 seconds, he knocked over all the tables and he was completely unconscious. 10 seconds, right? You don't have a lot of time. With some of your other arteries, you might have a little bit more time. You might have the same time, but you don't have minutes to spare. You have seconds. Sean Taylor being a prime example. Sean Taylor was safety with the Redskins, was in his house in Florida when two individuals broke in and shot upon him, and he had a femoral arterial bleed, which he obviously died from, and he bled out. A tourniquet can save a life with an arterial bleed. Knowing to use it, knowing when to use it, knowing how to use it is going to be life or death. I carry this wherever I go, whether it's in my pocket. I don't leave the house without this. I have one on me at all times. I have some in my vehicle, my range bag, my shooter belt. If I don't have to use this, that's fine by me. I'm not going to use it. I don't have a need to use it. But if I have a need to use this, I'm going to have one. And that's the highly important part about having this, is making sure it's on you and it's ready to go. I bring this up in my classes with, self-defense. If you get into a gunfight and think that you're not going to get hit, you're oddly mistaken. You have a very high chance of getting struck by gunfire, right? So knowing how to protect yourself and save your own life is highly important to stay in the fight as well as continue to live on. So that is my review with the cat tourniquet. For more information, go to PTPGun.com as well as Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.